Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? It's so great to be here with you for my Tuesday Rockstar training. I have an awesome topic to talk about today, one that is close to my heart, and I have prepared a very cool training for you. So, if you're here, say hello. I'm using a new system called Ecamm, and I'm loving it, and it is specifically designed to let me broadcast from my Mac, and actually today I'm going to share slides, which is also kind of cool. If you're here, you could say hi, that would be awesome. I see that someone's here. Now, the thing about Ecamm is because of the new regulations, Facebook makes you give me permission to actually see your profile picture and your name. So if you scroll up to the description in the top of the live here, and you click on the link there, it'll show me who you are, and then I can actually see who you are and interact with you that way. I am going to check really quickly and see if I can see the live on my phone. So to make sure that it's not... oh, perfect. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Maybe I can mute it. Can I mute it? No, I can't. So that's the problem with that, is... unfortunately, if I access it on my phone, then you're going to be able to hear like me 3 seconds delayed, which might get a little confusing. So I think it's Jody Dvorak. Hi there. Welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. A couple of quick housekeeping things before we get started. 3 things, actually. Number 1, if you are live with me on Facebook, thank you so much. Click on that link in the description so that I can see your name and your profile picture. It's really simple. You just click on it, and then that lets Facebook know that we're cool. Number 2, if you scroll down a little bit, hey, hi Jody. If you scroll down a little bit in the comment section, and it might take a minute, but usually something pops up that says, click here to get a reminder every time I go live. I would love it if you would do that, because I have great stuff that I'm training every Tuesday, and a lot of times people don't know I'm here. So, Samory, hi, welcome. Glad you're here. Number 3, you can actually share this with your friends if you know of anybody who should see this. And there's a link that says share this with your friends at the bottom of the comment section as well. So if you're compelled to do that, obviously it's recording because it's a Facebook Live, and you'll be able to watch the recording as well. And if you're watching this on a replay, either here or on Facebook, my business page, or YouTube or LinkedIn or any place else where I'm sharing this, welcome. Glad you caught the replay. Use the hashtag replay when you make comments, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have in that way too. So let me just very briefly, in case you're new to the group, I know we've added a bunch of people in the last few weeks. Yay. Share with you a little bit about who I am in case you're not sure. My name is Julianne Jones. I'm known as the Virtual Rockstar, and I refer to myself as a badass, no BS business mentor. My superpower is working with life and business coaches and mentors who are overwhelmed by and bottlenecked by one-on-one client work. And what I do is I help them translate their client process into an online program so that they can clone themselves, work with and impact more clients, and scale their businesses more quickly. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, what I just shared with you, that description, which let me just tell you, it didn't just come right off the top of my head. I worked really hard to get really clear about who my ideal client was, which also allowed me to look at exactly what I do to help them. And so I'm going to share my slides now. Go here, and here, and here. Sweet. Okay, cool. So I think you can still see that. Maybe give me a thumbs up if you're seeing a slide that says niche down to scale fast right now, or say yes, I see it, or something so that I know that we're good to go. Because I can't really, actually, no, I could probably do this. It looks like you're seeing my desktop, actually. So hold on a minute. We're going to show. Current application? No. Oh, so you can see my screen if I do this. Yep, okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so thank you for the thumbs up, whoever that was. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and dive in here. I just want to check one quick thing before I do that to make positively sure that you're seeing my screen. To make sure that it's not... Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay. Yes, sweet, sweet. All right, so let's talk about this concept. And I was looking at this morning and I thought I really should have said niche down to scale fast. That would have been a lot smarter. To scale up. Niche down to scale up. That makes a lot more sense. So we're going to talk today about this concept of defining who you want to work with. Why you have to get really specific about who you serve in order to create an online program. So I'm guessing that you probably are a little bit afraid to niche down or to narrow down your targeting because you're afraid that if you do that, you're going to lose clients. And on the surface, that seems logical. Okay, but I want to talk to you today about why this mindset actually really does the opposite of what you want it to do. Okay, and why that concept of being afraid to narrow down is really holding you back. And I'm going to start by sharing my story with you. So when I first started out, I really thought I can help anybody who has a process and works with clients to create an online program. So I started targeting a lot of different types of people who fit that description. Personal trainers, dog trainers, yoga instructors, coaches. I even targeted authors who wrote how-to books because I figured if they did that, they had a process. And I was right. My process will work for anybody who works one-on-one with clients. But in order to really stand out and focus on becoming an expert in just one field, I really had to realize that in order to stand out, that's what I had to do. I couldn't use that shotgun approach and target multiple really different clients. Not if I wanted to stand out. And we're going to talk about that in a little while. But I really kind of came to the conclusion, and unfortunately for me, what this led to was the wrong marketing message, the wrong target audience because I wasn't getting clients, and more importantly, the wrong clients. The few clients that I did end up working with were not really my ideal clients. And it also really contributed for me to my self-doubt in a big way. And I'm wondering if you can relate to that. Just curious. I mean, have you? I mean, I love this picture of the person on this slide. Have you felt kind of like you're spinning your wheels ever, and you're frustrated, and you're not exactly sure if what you're doing is working, if all your online efforts are paying off? I know I've had that feeling, and it was much worse before I actually really got clear about who I wanted to work with and niche down. If that resonates with you, just drop a yes or a thumbs up and let me know. Because I'm curious to know. And there is a bit of a delay here, so I'll have to riff a little bit while I wait for you guys. That's the only thing about using a third party. I love the functionality, but there is sometimes a bit of a delay, so you might be commenting and I'm not necessarily seeing it. I'm going to check my phone really quick and see if I can pull the comments up here. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, cool. All righty. I'm not seeing the comments either. Oh well, that's okay. We're going to keep going. And if you're watching the replay and you want to communicate with me that way, I'll see that in the replay too. So all of this happened to me. It also really brought to light for me the problem with not, thanks, Sam Marie, I appreciate that. The problem with not niching down, and I want to talk to you really clearly about that. And once I discovered this, the story has a happy ending, just so you know. So if you don't define your niche, first of all, your clients are going to have very little in common. Okay, so when you work with a broad definition of your ideal client, you have to continually customize your process to fit the needs of that really broad client base. And every single client needs a customized solution. And that makes it virtually impossible for you to create one online program that's effective for that one client niche if you're not clear about exactly who it's for and exactly what they need. Now, if you don't niche down and you are working with a broad group of people as opposed to one specific avatar, you're never going to be able to define a scalable process because your business, like I said a minute ago, you have to be specifically targeting or customizing your result to more than one specific avatar. So it never allows you to create a scalable process because you're targeting too broad. Okay. It's not going to allow you to target a specific avatar with a specific problem. And the thing about that is you can't deliver your specific solution online to that person. And also, you're never going to stand out. So that makes you really a slave to one-on-one work because different avatars have different needs. And the most important piece of this is that standing out part. If you become an expert to one specific group of people who need exactly what you have to offer, it gives you a lot of leverage around having them want to work with you and really identifying that. If you never stand out, especially in today's really crowded and busy online world, you're probably never going to scale your business. And honestly, for me, I wasn't even getting my business off the ground. It was really frustrating. Does that make sense to you? It's a really important thing to understand. And it isn't just about, okay, pick a niche because you want to market to one person or to one, group of people. It's more about this. If you don't do that, then you can't scale in a big way, especially online, because you're having to customize every single solution for every single client, and that becomes a problem. Okay, awesome. So for me, I realized that I had to focus in and get very clear about exactly who I wanted to work with. And for me, this is what I came up with. A very clear list that I actually use every morning when I'm doing my mindset work and my visualization work about who I want to attract. That was female coaches. And not only that, but I actually get really specific. So my ideal client is a confident coach, positive, innovative, but unsure. So there's a little bit of her pain involved in that. Ready to grow, also overwhelmed, has an abundance mentality, is female, powerful, trusting, and curious. So that is a really specific person. I actually named her Brandy. It just kind of came to me when I did an exercise that I'm going to talk to you about in a second. Knowing exactly who I wanted to target and doing a lot of work on exactly how to do that really allowed me to create this specific avatar for who I wanted to reach. Okay, and that's how I came up with this ideal client. So the question is, how do you begin the process of niching down and defining your own ideal client? And this is kind of the call to action part of the live training today. So first of all, you have to be really specific. You have to define in great specificity and with great detail exactly who your ideal client is. And you have to know exactly who you serve, what their biggest frustrations are, what they most desire, what's important to them, even their demographic information like gender, age, income level. Those are all essential to your marketing message and the delivery of your process online. It's a deeper conversation and definition than just, I serve stay-at-home moms or I serve athletes. So that's a start. But when you do a deep dive and you get into the head of that ideal client, then you also become attached to their outcomes, what it is you provide for them. And that is really important at a super high level. So making a difference in the lives of everybody with whom I come into contact is what drives me. And I've learned that the more specific I get about exactly who I want to serve, the more important it becomes to me. And I actually have a process that my clients go through where they write a detailed letter to their ideal client. They name them and they tell them exactly what they want for them and why their success is so important to them. And you might consider doing this. It's really, really eye-opening. So the best advice I can give you around this is to be specific and dive deep and make it important. Get really, really clear with yourself as well. Okay? So that's really the training. It's not very long. My goal is to keep these as short as possible to 15 minutes if possible. I think we're approaching the 15-minute mark, so that's perfect. I want to give you a quick call to action, okay, because I always want to leave you with that as well. So here are some action steps that you can take right away to begin this process of defining your ideal client. First of all, make a list of at least 5 adjectives that you feel describe your ideal client. You saw my list earlier. It was more than 5, but that's because I tend to have that sort of over-the-top big personality. Secondly, commit to reach out and actually interview at least 5 people who fit that description. And this might be something that you haven't thought about before. It's something I hadn't really done prior to very recently. And I have to tell you, that it has made a huge difference for what I'm creating now in my own business. So I found who I wanted to be working with. I reached out to people who fit that description. I said, would you be willing to jump on the phone on a Zoom call with me for 15 minutes or so that I can pick your brain and ask some questions? And when I did that, I learned a lot more about exactly what my ideal client really wanted, who they were, what their pain points were, that kind of thing. So that's the second step. The third call to action would be to write a letter, just like I talked about earlier, to your ideal client that comes straight from your heart. What do you want for them? What do you see in them that inspires you? And why are their results important to you? And then finally, once you have defined your avatar, target all of your marketing messages to that one person. So what I mean by that is when I am writing copy for an email, or I'm putting together a sales page, or even when I'm creating a program, I think about my ideal client, who, like I said, happens to be Brandy. That's what I named her. I think about exactly all the things I've defined about her. And so I'm speaking to one specific perfect client whenever I'm doing any marketing work, writing, or anything like that. Okay. So I want to go back. Hold on just a second. I'm going to switch back to my camera. There we are. Perfect. I just love how this works when it works. So that's all I have for you guys today. I would recommend that you take those call to action points that I gave you just on that last slide and make some time to actually take action and do those things. I promise you, the more clear you begin to get about this avatar, the more you're going to love actually reaching out and finding those people. And the more you're going to recognize them when you do find them. I've recently attracted some really perfect clients into my practice. And I have to say that it's been exciting, and I didn't really see exactly how that was going to happen a few months ago. And part of that was because I wasn't really sure who I was looking for. And if I get on the phone with someone who isn't my ideal client, it's really easy for me to know that and say, yeah, I don't think that this is going to work out. We're not, we're not the best fit. Let me see if I can recommend someone who might be a better fit for you. So it kind of goes both ways. I also know that energy flows where attention goes, and that's how the law of attraction works. So if you're very clearly defining who you're looking for and what you want for those people, the results you want to be providing for them, it becomes really easy for the universe to bring those people into your experience. And I've certainly found that. So mindset, knowing who my ideal client is has really affected my mindset work as well. So there you have it. I think look at that. I went a couple minutes over, but we almost made it in 15 minutes. Thanks to a few of you guys, Judy and Samarie, for being here with me. I appreciate you. And if you're watching the replay, use the hashtag replay. Let me know how it's going. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Tuesday, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.